about a week before the May 30th event, the feds get word from the Eugene Police Department that there's going to be a rally on May 30th. And they know exactly what the rally is about, that it's in support of the ban on pesticides by the Lane County Commissioners.
Right.
And I guess that same day there was a Eugene Weekly article also about it. And the feds decide that based on this lawful political gathering that they're going to go monitor it. And so a federal agent goes and surveils a lawful political gathering, which is unconstitutional and illegal. This federal agent, this Homeland Security agent that initially calls the Eugene Police Department and gives them rhetoric along the lines of there are people blocking traffic and spraying unknown liquids in the streets and blah blah blah. And as a result of that call, then the Eugene police begin to activate themselves. There's also an inspector of Homeland Security who is waiting back at the federal courthouse, according to the reports. And he actually calls the Mega Center in Denver and says, we're on the move, we're heading over to this event. And the inspector comes over as well, and he actually assists in the arrest of and gives a report with dubious factual information in it about the incidents as well. There's a couple of really incendiary statements that the police officers, the federal agents, make in these reports. Like, for instance, their narrative, basically says that this was a protest rally. The rally was sponsored by the Pitchfork Rebellion, a protest group from Lane County, and then it goes on to say, there are statements in here about the individuals wearing masks. It doesn't say that they're surgical masks as part of street theater. It just says, So you can see from these reports that they're trying to paint this situation in a scary eco-terrorist type of way, because that's what they do with everything these days. And it's just not what it is. When you look at the facts, when you look at the video, and then you read these reports, you wonder what event they were actually watching. This was basically incitement by the federal government to create a situation where police were forced into hostile interactions with citizens, and the result was that several citizens were injured, not only falsely prosecuted, but injured as well. And once again, we have turmoil in the city of Eugene regarding police misconduct and the use of force on our citizenry. And as of a couple of days ago, the city of Eugene dismissed all of the charges against those defendants and has indicated that the district attorney's office, Doug Harkleroad, is investigating charges to be brought in Lane County Circuit Court instead of Eugene Municipal Court. And as part of that investigation, they are convening a grand jury to investigate not only the 3 known defendants, but others as well, unknown others, in the attempt to prosecute them as well. Harkleroad was earlier assigned to potentially investigate the police misconduct that was alleged. He now has made public statements that he has no intention of actually investigating the conduct of the police. He's now trying to investigate the activists that were involved in the rally. And that seems to be the same case with the police review. There is a police officer who right now is wearing 2 different hats. He's telling citizens that he is investigating the May 30th event. What he's not telling them is, right now, he is exclusively investigating the citizens to prosecute them for crimes.
And who's that?
That's Scott McKee. He has indicated that after everyone's been prosecuted and or convicted in his mind, then he may turn his attention toward investigating the police misconduct. How can you investigate the victims of police misconduct for crimes and assist in their prosecution, and then at the same time investigate the perpetrators of that violence against the victims? It just doesn't happen like that. That's called a conflict of interest, and you just cannot wear both of those hats at the same time. Whatever process they go through for police review, the buck stops with Chief Lerner as the chief of police. There will be nothing done to those police officers unless the chief says so.
So the chief's the final decision, and you got Scott McKee, who's doing the investigation, and he's also an EPD cop.
Right.
For the citizen review. Okay.
Right. And, I mean, technically the way it is supposed to work is the district attorney's office is supposed to review complaints and determine whether or not criminal conduct has occurred, and if it has, prosecute them for crimes like assault or harassment or, you know, whatever it may be. But Harkle Road has already made it clear that he doesn't really have any interest in doing that. And so the only process available to citizens for responsibility, you know, by the police is to go through these citizen review processes that ultimately will end with the chief, who prior to the conclusion of any investigation has already made public statements that he doesn't think his boys did anything wrong. Anyone who's made a public statement about being a witness at the May 30th event may very well end up with a grand jury subpoena, and the purpose of the subpoena is to bring indictments against individuals who were present there. So anyone who served a subpoena needs to contact the Civil Liberties Defense Center or get an attorney because they could potentially be a defendant, and they don't want to make statements that might incriminate themselves in front of a grand jury. And so, unfortunately, people who have been supportive and have tried to be vocal in, bringing these issues to light may now end up roped into the court system.
So you're recording us and we're recording you.
That's right. That's the way it works these days, isn't it? Huh?
Might get some feedback.
Dual recordings. Okay. It's a grand jury subpoena ordering you to appear on July 3rd at 9 o'clock and to bring with you any videotapes or digital recordings of any of the events or portions thereof that occurred on May 30th, 2008 in the vicinity of Broadway.
You guys getting that already through Discovery, aren't you?
We have some evidence, but we're looking for more.
Yeah, it seems like everybody thinks they might have more than I do. We'll see, huh?
Yeah. So if you've whatever you've got, if you could just bring it with you.
All right.
It's a grand jury, and I'll probably be there, and I'll see you there. That's the pesticide demonstration that resulted in some arrests at the rally.
Yeah, I wasn't there.